Buen Camino. Trying to keep my voice down because I think some of the folks here have their windows open. So it's the start of a new day. I'm getting kind of a late start, and today's a 20-mile day. So it's going to be kind of interesting. As you can tell, it's a little bit cooler out. I'm wearing my fleece. I suppose I'll be taking that off soon. But we're ready to start a new day. You ready? You ready to go? Got your boots laced? Great, because we're off. First to Deba, and then what's the name of the next town? I can't quite pronounce half these towns, but I'll let you know when I get there. I know where it is on a map. So let's get going, huh? Time to hit the road. A moment of Zen for Sunday morning. I don't think I'll ever see the end of today's 20 miles if I keep stopping to take videos, but I wanted to stop just a moment and just kind of show you the road here. Very steep, as you can tell, and wet and slippery. So one of the things I like to do is carry trekking poles. Boy, I tell you, without these trekking poles, so far in this trip, I probably would have broken my legs 3 times, which is bad since I only have 2 legs. But the thing you have to be careful of is when going down these roads, it can be quite treacherous. So I would encourage folks to bring walking poles, even if they think they don't need them, because they can sure be lifesavers. Slipped many times so far this morning, and I probably will by the end of the day, many more. But we'll do okay, right? We'll get to the end of this. See you. Good morning, geese. How are you today? Hello. Hello. Honk, honk. Good morning. Okay, goodbye. How we doing? You guys doing better than I am right now? Man, this is tall. Oh, there's a dog barking at me. He's a little guy too. Anyways, I'm right at what I believe is the summit for today. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? So I believe it's the summit for today. And it's gotta be, because I look past me and there's no more up to go up to. But not only that, but we have a few clouds. It looks like we're gonna get some rain. But as a very wise sailor told me on the last Camino, you put your rain gear on before you need it. And that's what I did. So my sailor friend, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Thank you for the advice. I put it on. And now if it doesn't rain and we start getting some sunshine, I'll take it off. We got to see which way those nasty looking clouds are moving. But it's a beautiful morning. I just finished a wonderful conversation with a couple of people here from Basque. They were telling me about the Basque region, how proud they are to be Basque. And I wish I was better at Spanish or Basque, because they speak Basque as well, to share with them their perspective. Been talking to a lot of people, but I've got to stop them and asked if they would like to be featured. In any event, I hope you guys are doing good. Come on, let's get going. Got a lot of miles to go. I think maybe another, 10, 15 miles before we rest. Miles to go before we rest. So, do you know the reference to that? Look it up. Buen camino. Talk to you soon. It's really cold. I hope they continue doing it, but these cows down here, I don't know if you can see them, they're just running up and down the field. Hopefully they'll continue. Oh, they stopped. Of course, as soon as they get out the camera. But you see them running around. Oh, there's some fighting. There they go. They're pretty active. Just running up and down the fields. Having a good time. What a life, huh? Thought I'd share that. That's kind of fun. Here's the morning. Or actually, I think we're getting to afternoon. Just about a kilometer out of Olats. Looking at Olats a lot. Don't look, the sheep are naked. Just thought I'd share my lunch with you all. Hey, looks like we made it. Remember that song? What was it, the 70s or 80s? Looks like we made it. Again, I promise I'll try to hold the singing to a minimum. But boy, today was a tough day, but we've made it all the way to Markina, Xemein. Xemein? I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of that stuff right. I don't know how to pronounce these names, but we made it. It was a 20-mile day today. The normal day is slightly less. It's, around 15 or 16, but I started before Deba. And normally the day goes from Deba to this Markina, but I started beforehand, so that added quite a few miles to it, but it was worth it. The thing that's interesting about this pilgrimage that's a little bit different than the Française is that on the Française, you have your elevation gain. There's days where you really have some pretty intense elevation gain. I remember the day to Osobrero. That was a tough one. But here, the elevation gain is daily. Because, think about what you're doing. You're going from sea city to sea city. Sea city. And then, so what you're doing, and usually there's a mountain in between. So you have to go from sea level all the way up over this thing and then down to sea level again. And then the next day, up over the thing and then down over the thing. Up and down, up and down. And that's kind of what it's been like for the first week. Now I hear that I'm looking at the guidebooks and I think things start to settle down after Bilbao. Yay. But going along the coast here, it's tough. But again, it's worth it. The views here are just incredible. Coming into this town here, Markina, I think that's the way you pronounce it, but let's call it that. Coming into Markina, we don't see the sea. We're not very close to the ocean. But, boy, the views are just looking at the hills and the hill-covered trees. I try to capture it in film, but you can't. And after a while, it's just another pretty scene. And I guess the images could get quite boring. It's also very interesting to see the different livestock. Seeing the horses running in the fields is great. There was one point, and I have it in the film, of these cows, and they, just for the hell of it, they were running back and forth across the pasture, just gallivanting around, having a good time. And that was kind of neat to see. Talked to a few interesting people, a couple of actors from Denmark. One guy does Shakespeare. So we started quoting Shakespeare together. And then ran into some German women. I didn't literally run into them, but, in the sense that I bumped into them. But we talked as we walked along, and we were coming into the town. And boy, when I saw the town, I took off. I didn't even see, I just kept going, and I think I outpaced them into the town. But again, on the Del Norte, there is not a lot of support services. In fact, I encountered more today than I had expected. And there was a town. Let's see, what is it? It's Olats, Olats, and in Olats there was actually a bar that was open. And it was great because I was able to get a couple of sausages, and I asked for a soda, but instead I got a Radler. And for those of you who don't know what Radlers are, again, it's that half lemon, half beer. Maybe I shouldn't have had that because I think alcohol kind of constricts your blood vessels. But boy, that went down good. That went down real good. And I had my sausages and then I took off again. But I really tried to keep my water bottles full. But I ran out of water about 6 miles before we got into town, and I was thirsty. First thing I did was, there's a bar a couple doors down. And again, bars aren't like bars in the United States. In the United States, you go to a bar, especially these neighborhood corner bars, you're going there to drink. And you're going there to drink because you want to get drunk. Or sometimes you're going there to socialize, but it's usually socializing over alcohol. A lot of the bars here are like half bar, half restaurant, with tapas and pinchos, little snacks. And others are just like the one I went to tonight was kind of cool. It was like a neighborhood bar on the corner, and it was all old guys, well, older middle-aged guys to guys like me, old guys. And they were just sitting around playing cards. There wasn't any smoking inside. There was some out front on the patio, but they were just sitting around playing cards, and I didn't see anybody really drinking much of anything now that I think of it. I don't even think they were drinking any like water or beverages, but they were just having a good time. It was kind of like a men's club, and it reminded me of this book by, I'm not sure the name, but it's called Bowling Alone. And one of the things that's happened in the States is that we spend so much time alone, even though we're all connected through the internet and things like that. We're still very private and lonely people. And when I was a kid growing up, people had bowling leagues and they did stuff like that. I don't think those things are quite as popular as they once were. But here they did. You see these guys on a Sunday night just sitting around playing cards. Then coming into town, and look for it in the pictures, there's this really interesting thing. I'm got to look it up. I didn't want to do it before this because I'm not sure I'm going to be awake by the time I get this done. But there were these boulders, these massive boulders, just kind of randomly leaning against one another, forming a little space. And within that space, there was a statue of some saint. I don't know what the story is about that. Maybe I'll get that, and I'll maybe you'll tune in tomorrow. That's it. Tune in tomorrow if you want to know the mystery of the statue in the rocks. But it was set up really. You ever encounter something where it's so huge and so out of the ordinary that it's almost frightening? That's kind of the first reaction I had. I'm coming around a corner and the doors to the place were open. At first I thought it was a church, and I walked in, it was this thing, and it was right in the middle of a big circular thing. And there was a circle on the floor, a tile circle around the floor around the entire thing. And mind you, this was massive. And then there were chairs outside the circle, and I have no idea what that was. So I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll report back to you tomorrow. So you need to tune in tomorrow to find out the solution to this mystery. So as I said, it was kind of an interesting day, challenging day. One of the things I'll always recommend is make sure your water bottles are full, and make sure you know where you can refill your water bottles. Also I encountered some folks, I may have mentioned it earlier, some folks from Basque who were actually quite friendly, and we had a good conversation, even though they couldn't speak English and I couldn't speak Basque or Spanish. I may be repeating myself. I think I may have mentioned that earlier. But the countryside was just beautiful, and I just had a great day, although I am exhausted. So with that, I'm going to turn in. I'm going to post this stuff so that way we have our video for the day. But then I'm calling it quits for today because I've had it. This morning I overslept. So hopefully I won't do that again tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll set the alarm. Maybe I will. I hate to get a late start. I'll think about it. Anyways, Buon camino, arrivederci, ciao tutti. And this is Bill, the Stoic Pilgrim, signing off. I'm not going to be doing a meditation today because I'm just too gosh darn tired. And it's a shame because it's Sunday too. I should do one. But we'll do 2 tomorrow maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Bye.